Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to get settled. It looks like we have a lot of people in the waiting room that are joining us. So we are really excited to have you here tonight for our 2025 awards. You will notice that we do have the chat available for this session. Please add in the chat your where you were from, your name, where you were from, your chapter, but also state. And if you're excited about seeing any particular award winners tonight. So welcome, and we'll get started in just a moment. Well, awesome. It looks like we have 91 people so far on our award ceremony tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. Please add in the chat where you were from, your name, what chapter you're from, what state. Let us know if you're excited about any particular person winning an award tonight. Even if it's you, let's give yourselves kudos in that chat. And we are going to use the chat tonight to celebrate everyone. We really wish that we could be in person, but we're not. So we want to make sure that we are showing the love to all of our award winners. Please let everybody know, do the, clapping hands, and just give big congratulations all evening long. So with that, this is the NCTA and National Park Service Award Ceremony for 2025. We are so excited that you're able to join us. This will be recorded as well, and we can share it out after the fact if you want to watch it again, because it's so exciting and fun, or if you have folks that weren't able to join us, we would love to have you share that out with them afterwards. So we are going to start with just a little message from NCTA and National Park Service staff.
Hey, I just want to thank you for moving our mission forward.
Thank you for keeping the trail open so the Hike 100 Challenge can continue each year.
Thank you for training new volunteers and for helping them to feel welcome on the trail.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Thanks for building campsites.
Thank you for prioritizing safety for yourself and fellow volunteers.
Thank you for all the bridges, boardwalks, punch-in, any type of structure that you built for the North Country Trail.
Thank you so much for being incredible advocates for the North Country National Scenic Trail. Your voice is important.
Thank you so much for all the hard work you put into reaching out to potential new trail landowners and maintaining good relationships with existing trail landowners.
Thank you for preserving the trail's natural and cultural resources.
Thank you for your leadership, service, passion, and dedication to expanding the trail into some truly beautiful places.
Thank you for your reliable partnership with the association.
Thank you for your creativity around themed hikes and event planning.
Thank you for giving the North Country Trail life.
So thank you absolutely for giving the trail life. Chris couldn't have said it better. The North Country Trail exists only because of the incredible community that supports it. And tonight we're here to celebrate those people and all of the efforts of extraordinary individuals and groups who really make the trail what it is today. The North Country Trail Association will present awards to volunteers, partners, and supporters in 16 different categories to recognize those who have demonstrated exceptional dedication to the trail. And the National Park Service will recognize many, many, many hours that you all give to the trail, that volunteers contribute, and call out some very special, outstanding contributions from a few of our hardest working folks. I wish we were together in person, as I said, but we're not this year. So we hope that you do, both share in the chat the thanks to all of these incredible award winners tonight. And when you see them in person, when you're back out on the trail and with your chapter and your affiliate, please, when you see these people, shake their hand, tell them thank you for us. Everybody deserves a round of applause. Tonight's ceremony is recorded and will be shared out after. If you don't receive it after, please let me know and we'll make sure that we get a copy to you. We hope that not only award winners get to see this, but their family and friends so we can share it widely. So to kick off tonight, we're going to first start with NCTA awards and then move on to the National Park Service. And to kick off NCTA's awards, I'd like to introduce Jan Ulfert Stewart. She is NCTA's board president and volunteer herself, extraordinaire. So Jan, take it away.
Thank you, Andrea, and welcome. Good to see everyone here tonight. On behalf of the Board of Directors of your association, we are just honored to recognize the outstanding dedication of volunteers from our chapters and affiliates. These are the honor awards, which were given last year. They were given to 39 individuals from 26 chapters and affiliates. Andrea, will you scroll through the names? We recognize these members whose loyalty, commitment, and tireless hard work make a significant impact on our mission each year. So on behalf of the NCTA, we say thank you for your commitment fuels the trail's success in your community and sends waves of positive impact across the nearly 5,000 miles of this trail. We are deeply grateful for all that you do. Congratulations. I'd like to now turn the program over to Mel Bauman, who is a member of the board of directors, and he is also the chair of the awards committee. Mel.
Thanks, Jan. I too offer my congratulations to all the award recipients. As one of 8 members of the awards committee, we had to review all of the nominations. And I think it's important to point out that what you're going to hear tonight in our narrative is just a paragraph highlighting the important points from each person's accomplishments. But there's a lot more documentation and accomplishments that we don't have time to discuss. So just keep in mind, these are really outstanding members with more to be said about all of them. We're going to begin with the Rising Star Award. This is an NCTA member between the ages of 8 and 25 who has made significant contributions to the North Country Trail and seems likely to continue, and whose dedication to the trail and the NCTA sets an example to other youth and shows exceptional promise. Our award this year goes to Alex Harris, who for more than 3 years, 15-year-old Alex has been dedicated to trail upkeep of the Buckeye Trail's Delphos section, of which his father is the official caretaker. Alex rebuilt an antique push mower that he uses on a 1/4 acre and supplies his own fuel for it. He assists his dad and the Buckeye Trail Association with other maintenance and is an enthusiastic advocate for the trail. Through Scouts, he has completed 2 service projects, rebuilding a canal crossing and rebuilding a switchback section. Our next award is for a trail builder. This is a volunteer who has spent 3 years or more of trail planning, landowner negotiations, layout and design, and/or construction that has resulted in the development of outstanding new North Country Trail or facilities. We have several people who are receiving this award tonight. First is Ryan Bowles. Ryan has been deeply involved in multiple trails across southern Michigan and northern Ohio. He served as president of the NCTA's Chief Bob Beast chapter, led the NCT committee for the Northwestern Ohio Rails to Trails Association, and contributed significantly to the Wabash Cannonball Trail. He is now the volunteer trail manager for the Chief Noonday chapter. He is an organized and efficient workday leader, ensuring volunteers feel valued and effective. Ryan has developed numerous camping opportunities along the trail and continues to work toward enhancing the hiking experience for everyone. Our next candidate is Jerry Warner. Jerry joined the Cheyenne River Valley chapter 18 years ago after he fell in a creek. He was there when the first boardwalk was installed at this site and has been a dedicated member ever since. He is quite familiar with the needs of the North Dakota NCT because he has hiked it in its entirety. Jerry organizes volunteers from his employer, Tucson Bobcat, for annual trail work days. They've built water bars, picnic tables, and boardwalks, installed benches, and improved trail. He is an excellent liaison with the North Dakota Forest Service and chairs the chapter's Trail Maintenance and Development Committee. So many miles have been enhanced thanks to Jerry's guidance. Our next recipient is John Galatly. John adopted a trail segment in Duluth more than a decade ago and maintains it expertly. Not only does he keep the corridor clear, but he builds turnpike, does rock work, and improves drainages. Heavy snowfall creates excessive runoff here, but John isn't afraid of the challenge and lives by the motto, people on, water off. If you ever can't find John on his segment, it's likely he's at another project along the Superior Hiking Trail. Next slide. Jeff and Sally Steele jumped right into trail projects shortly after joining the Central New York chapter. They've volunteered many, many hours of manual labor during reroute projects. They've excavated hillside trail, hauled buckets of rocks, constructed trail tread, constructed earthen steps, and painted blazes. They are active stewards of a popular segment, and Jeff is a certified sawyer. When they aren't digging in the dirt, they're leading hikes and serving on the chapter's executive committee. Willingness to learn and participate in projects, promotion of the trail, and solicitation of volunteers are their most important contributions. George Mad Hat Dom might be one of the Superior Hiking Trail Association's longest serving volunteers, who is still actively working on the trail. Since the mid to late 90s, he remains busy maintaining a segment near Finland, Minnesota. He's a sawyer and leads swampers. He has a jovial and joking nature, creating an atmosphere of fun and camaraderie, and he is eager to both learn and teach. Last winter, he used his own snowmobile to move materials to a future project site. Whatever the task may be, he's a volunteer we can count on. The next category of trail recipients is for a trail maintainer. This is a volunteer that has demonstrated exceptional dedication or achievements in maintaining or restoring pre-existing North Country Trail segments over at least a 3-year period. Our first recipient is Danny Austin, who has demonstrated unwavering dedication to the North Country Trail for more than 15 years. With the Western Michigan chapter, he serves as a trail adopter for multiple segments. He is also chairman of the chapter's Trail Committee, playing a critical leadership role by organizing meetings, training new adopters, and ensuring sawyer certification and safety. As a sawyer himself, Danny sets the standard for excellence in trail stewardship and continues to be an invaluable asset. Lisa Bertolacio has been a member of the Wampum chapter since 2015. She drives an hour and a half one way to maintain 2 sections she adopted in Ohio. She is the chapter's trail adopter coordinator, assessing trail needs, scheduling workdays, and ensuring maintainers are trained and equipped. Because she is organized, thoughtful, and enthusiastic, Lisa's service is in high demand across the chapter, particularly the Landowner's Relations Committee. She also leads hikes and strives to attract new hikers and volunteers. She handles many chapter communications, volunteers her time for community events, and ultimately embodies the spirit of the North Country Trail. Stephen Kessler has become a constant presence at the Chief Noonday chapter workdays. Whether he's eradicating invasive species, helping to build puncheon, or pushing a DR mower through thick brush, Stephen goes above and beyond. He's a trail adopter for a 3-mile wooded section for more than 3 years. When he's not maintaining trail, Stephen is volunteering with fellow veterans and others who are receiving cochlear implants for hearing loss. Tim and Nancy Van Nest are trail adopters with the Western Michigan chapter who have been maintaining a 4-mile segment for more than a decade. They're a certified sawyer and swamper team, regularly participate in work days, then volunteer wherever else they think they can help. Thanks to their skills and knowledge, the chapter has been able to complete many significant projects, from boardwalks to bridges to reroutes. Tim and Nancy work tirelessly to make the NCT safe and accessible for everyone. Chris Witzel has maintained the North Country Trail within the Dakota Prairie chapter for more than 8 years. He mows, clears trail, and updates signage. He steps up when others cannot. In the last several years, Chris has coordinated maintenance of an 18-mile segment. He communicates and troubleshoots effectively, trains patiently, and monitors the trail closely. He also leads hikes and promotes the trail in any way he can. We have another award category now, that of Communicator. This is a volunteer that has contributed 3 years or more of exemplary work in promoting the North Country Trail or the association through a communications medium or personal contacts. Our first award recipient in this category is David Irvine. When David sees a need, he doesn't complain, he simply works to fix it. Not only is he an integral part of the Chief Noonday Chapter's social media team, but he's a Sawyer too. He's phenomenal at coordinating trail adopters, particularly with his spreadsheet that tracks downed and cleared trees. It's an invaluable asset for the team. David is excellent at integrating new people into the chapter, and he brings a fresh perspective to any event or task. Gail Rogney, since her first day as a member of the Dakota Prairie chapter, has been happily volunteering. She has held a variety of leadership positions, including chapter president, and her communication skills cannot be matched. She manages a variety of social media accounts to promote chapter hikes and events and does a fantastic job showcasing North Dakota's North Country Trail. Should the need arise to sweep a hike, table an event, or maintain trail, Gail is usually at the ready. She spreads the joy of the North Country Trail wherever she goes. Doug Seeney also is a recipient of the Communications Award. Doug has been the Jordan Valley 45-degree chapter's communication coordinator for over 3 years, but he is one of the longest-serving active members. He maintains the chapter email list to distribute updates to members and trail users, publishes a quarterly newsletter, and attends all chapter leadership meetings. In addition to communications duties, Doug helps maintain the trail, showing up for most work projects and mowing long parts of the trail every summer. He also participates in most chapter hikes and adds to the fun. Another award category is that of outreach. This is presented to a volunteer whose efforts to build coalitions, partnerships, or other forms of local support that significantly contribute to the ongoing success of the North Country Trail. Our first recipient is Nick Adams. In 2016, teacher and trail runner Nick Adams decided to create an event to raise funds for the Brule St. Croix chapter, to attract new people to the North Country Trail in northwestern Wisconsin and unite the local trail running community. The North Country Trail races began as a single 5K event. Over the past 8 years, Nick has added both a half and full marathon, as well as a mystery ultra. Each race attracts 80 to 100 runners, and Nick has raised more than $12,000 for chapter trail maintenance projects, including repairs to the Brule Boardwalk. Multiple runners have since become regular trail maintainers, and Nick serves on the chapter board. Nick's efforts have significantly improved visibility of the North Country Trail in Wisconsin and further developed the identity of Solon Springs as a trail town. For several years, Al Byrne has been instrumental in organizing Northern Minnesota Track Club members to help weed whip 10 miles of the Superior Hiking Trail through Duluth. Al has since encouraged Duluth Foot Trails Alliance members to join as well, and this larger group now helps with trail renewal projects. In 2024, Al also became a certified Sawyer and volunteer crew leader with the Superior Hiking Trail Association. Enabling and encouraging trail users to give back to the trail has resulted in deeper connections and sense of responsibility. Tina Harkins, since joining the Wampum chapter in 2016, has been a consistently valuable volunteer. She delivers outreach materials to local businesses, ensures brochures and maps are stocked, prepares press releases, and keeps chapter members informed. Many of her articles have made the front page of the local paper, and she maintains the chapter's social media. This spring, she was interviewed by a local radio station and spoke so professionally about the trail. Tina's also a trail adopter, hike leader, and sweep, and works full-time as a nurse. She has a wonderful relationship with the landowner of the section she maintains and is always willing to lend a hand where needed. Mark Lely has supported the trail for many years in many capacities with the Chief Noonday chapter. He organizes trail cleanup projects that include community members and college students. He serves with the Calhoun County Trailway Alliance as a member and secretary. He's doing a wonderful job increasing the awareness of Albion, Michigan as an NCTA trail town. Mark is a trail angel and offers his yard as an overnight campsite and offers great insight regarding new signage and potential reroutes. Well, another of our awards is Boots on the Trail. This is for a volunteer who regularly leads hikes that are well advertised and promoted to the public as a way of building membership and support for the North Country Trail. We have several recipients here, the first of whom is Autumn Donnell. Autumn has been leading hikes with the Dakota Prairie chapter for over 5 years. And if she isn't leading a hike, she is attending one. As the chapter secretary, she takes fantastic notes at monthly meetings. She was a critical contributor to the chapter's annual Hike Every Mile event, and she can always be called upon to represent the trail and chapter, ensuring all visitors receive thorough knowledge of the North Country Trail. Amy Seymour has been on the Chief Noonday chapter's hike committee for 3 years and has come up with so many unique themes for hikes, including a spring ephemeral hike and a storybook hike for families. She goes a step further and provides detailed, topical information for these hikes to create the best possible experiences. She once took the time to inquire about display cases at a highway rest area, which resulted in 3 months of advertising for the chapter's upcoming hikes. It's one of the largest rest areas in Michigan. Amy also leads and sweeps hikes, always ensuring each participant feels welcome, comfortable, and appreciated. Our last recipient in this category is Robert and Robin Sharkey. They're always happy to step up as hike sweeps during the NCTA Chief Noonday chapter's monthly social hikes across 3 counties in southwest Michigan. They eagerly participate in several community events, including parades and roadside cleanups. They do an excellent job answering questions about the trail, the chapter, NCTA, and Hike 100 Challenge. The last category that I'll cover is that of a sweep. This is a volunteer who contributed 3 years or more of tireless work and achievements behind the scenes on behalf of the North Country Trail or the association. Our first recipient is Steve Hicks. Steve is responsible for mowing a variety of trailheads and segments across Berry County, Michigan for the Chief Noonday chapter, and has been doing so since 1998. He volunteers his own vehicle and trailer to move the walk-behind mower from site to site, covering about 70 to 80 miles. He proudly maintains aging equipment and rarely bothers to ask for reimbursement, and he often pitches in on other chapter projects like building trail and puncheon. Michelle Lazar brings an extraordinary blend of professionalism, technical expertise, and generosity to the NCTA. A retired GIS professional with a career spanning both civil engineering and the U.S. Forest Service, she approached the NCTA with a desire to give back and quickly became invaluable. For several years, she has contributed to a variety of complex GIS and data-related projects. She eagerly and methodically improves data, cleans and clarifies records, and creates user-friendly processes. Michelle always goes above and beyond what is asked of her and exemplifies the spirit of service. Tom Norton is one of the most crucial members of the Chief Noonday chapter, who's not a hiker, but he's rather accomplished at waiting. Last year, Over two 4-day periods, he shuttled hikers between trailheads during a lengthy hike across Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Each year during the chapter's half marathon hike, Tom can be found receiving participants at the finish line. At most outreach events, he's at the information table or greeting folks at the door. He has shuttled his wife Jane around most of Michigan and Wisconsin during her pursuit of North Country Trail miles. His friendly nature and extreme patience are beyond appreciated. Larry Scanlon has regularly volunteered well over 100 hours a year for many years. He helps to assess projects and scout reroutes. For the past 5 years, he's been at every ribbon cutting event for trail expansion or renewal projects in the Duluth area. He often plays a support role, staying behind the scenes but making great things happen for the trail. He once volunteered to drive multiple hours for bridge materials that would have cost the Superior Hiking Trail Association hundreds of dollars to ship. Larry also leads weed whipping crews as a section adopter, keeping the trail open and well maintained. Our final recipient for sweep is John Storkamp. John has been involved with the Superior Hiking Trail for over 30 years. He was one of the first volunteer crew leaders recruited and trained. He fosters a welcoming environment and focuses on mentoring and skills building. He's an active sawyer, clearing 15 to 20 miles of trail each year and training the next generation. Through his company, Rock Steady Running, which hosts races on the trail, John has shown incredible generosity by contributing more than $30,000 to the trail over the past couple of decades. He makes a direct call to action to race participants each year to become members, donors, and volunteers. From these efforts, he has inspired at least an additional $17,000 of support for the trail. Well, as I leave, I want to just reemphasize how proud I am to recognize the people that we've been discussing here for the tremendous accomplishments and leadership they've provided to the North Country Trail Association. Let me turn this now back over to Andrea.
Thank you so much, Mel. Now we will move on to our Trail Protector Award. A trail protector is a volunteer who has worked for 3 years or longer to protect the trail by gaining easements and permission to build trail. So our first winner is Jan Alford Stewart, who you saw at the top of this call, and her husband, Jim Stewart. Together, Jan and Jim have designed and built some of the most iconic structures on the Dakota Prairie chapter segment of the North Country Trail. Included are 6 trailhead kiosks that feature information for trail users of all kinds. They've also built several benches, fence styles, renovated several privies, repaired punch-in and signage, and painted blazes. Jan is currently the president of the NCTA Board of Directors, helping to guide the NCTA through expanding our trail protection initiatives. Jim led negotiations to secure an easement for the trail on the Eckrey Grassland Preserve. They've both been instrumental in protecting and enriching the NCT in North Dakota and beyond. And our next award category is Outstanding Private Landowner. A private landowner whose leadership, accommodation, and active collaboration substantially benefited the North Country Trail. And our first winner is Kevin Ho. Years ago, when a stranger offered him fruit during a hike in the Upper Peninsula, Kevin promised himself he'd find his way back to give back to other trail users. He and his wife Jenny are now extraordinary trail angels. In 2021, they used a variety of recycled materials to transform a grain bin into a shelter named the Bin Walk-In, and have since hosted numerous overnight section and through hikers. Over the years, they've added a privy, shower, and a picnic table, and Kevin actively promotes both the shelter and the trail on social media. Kevin is also a trail adopter for the Western Michigan chapter and supports the Chief Noonday chapter as he's able. They are equally as great as developing relationships as they are providing resources to trail users. John Holzhauer. John has hosted the trail and a campsite on his land in Minnesota for more than 15 years. He is also an active participant with the Laurentian Lakes Chapter Board in efforts to improve the trail on his land. He also designed and built trailside fence styles at his property's edge. He is welcoming and engaging, which are much appreciated qualities for a trail host to have. Candy McCready. In 2019, Candy and her husband Robert granted the Wampum chapter permission to develop 2.5 miles of trail on their property in western Pennsylvania. It was soon clear just how much they cared about the trail and its community. They eagerly attended many chapter events, and even after Robert's passing, Candy continues to loyally support and engage with volunteers. She has gone beyond merely permitting the trail. She allows others to enjoy their hiking experience. The Rogstad family. Ever since the North Country Trail was routed in their direction, the Rogstads have been pleased to host it across their land in western Minnesota. They've also offered a fantastic trailside campsite for more than 15 years. Going above and beyond, they're actively collaborating to sell key areas of their land to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and potentially the NCTA to both preserve it and allow the North Country Trail to exist there in perpetuity. Sally Williams. Sally owns a 180-acre horse farm in Barry County, Michigan. Roughly half of the property is wooded and surrounds a large, private, undeveloped lake. The North Country Trail runs through here and is a gem of a segment in the Chief Noonday chapter. For her horse boarding clients, Sally and her staff maintain trail through the property, which she offered as the North Country Trail route. Alongside the chapter, she helped plan additional footpath as well. This new section opened in 2022 and has been a favorite. It's quiet and full of wildlife. Her staff's regular maintenance of the trail lightens the load of NCTA volunteers, and she is happy to attend group hikes when able. Sally is always cheerful, supportive of the chapter efforts, and willing to keep the trail open and protected. Our next category is Friend of the Trail, an employee of a unit of government or organization whose leadership, accommodations, and active collaboration have substantially benefited the North Country Trail or the North Country Trail Association. First up, we have the City of Duluth Parks and Recreation Division. More than 350 miles of trails wind through and around the city of Duluth. The Parks and Recreation Division takes seriously the importance of maintaining these world-class recreational opportunities for their residents and visitors. Last year, the city passed a resolution to support the Superior Hiking Trail Association's master plan, which includes 2 future reroutes through the city to significantly reduce the trail's roadwalks. Even through a bustling city, the division prioritizes trail connectivity with parklands. They are able to provide fantastic access to the outdoors and are absolutely excellent partners. Catherine Getty. Catherine is a commissioner in Barry County, Michigan, as well as an engaged member of the Chief Noonday chapter. She claims one of her main motivations to run for county commissioner was to represent the importance of parks and trails. She has served on the county parks board for about 20 years. Here she builds strong relationships between nonprofits, municipalities, and private businesses. Catherine often includes the NCT and chapter in her discussions. For example, she co-championed an effort to incorporate the NCT in the county's Master Trails Plan, which connects communities to trails. Thanks to her efforts, roadwalks have been eliminated and the trail community has been strengthened. Drew Hansen. Drew is a wholly dedicated to the partnership model that embraces the roles of the North Country Trail Association, its Wisconsin volunteers, and his agency, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. He facilitates partnerships meetings, helps secure state funding for projects, and advocates for land easements for the trail. He does a wonderful job maintaining relationships between the NCTA, our volunteers, the National Park Service, and our local DNR property managers. Drew is always willing to listen, entertain ideas, and identify solutions. He understands the nuances of working for a national scenic trail and is an excellent example of our cooperative management system. Rich Hatfield. Rich has been a district ranger with the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania for a decade and supports the Allegheny National Forest chapter in countless ways. He is great at gathering stakeholders to agree on solutions. He once led a discussion that resulted in dedicating 100 feet of buffer on both sides of the trail through logging projects, as well as adding safety provisions. This has become a standard for any logging contract within the Allegheny National Forest. Rich stays in regular communication with the chapter about potential projects and how they might impact the trail, and he has directed funds to help the chapter purchase supplies and equipment. His prompt responses and professional skills make working with Rich very productive and rewarding. Joe Janderno. Joe is a unit manager of the Yankee Springs Recreation Area in Michigan, through which the NCT winds. He is a reliable assistant to the Chief Noonday chapter, providing equipment and park employees to help erosion on the trail. Last fall, he approved the replacement of multiple benches and provided the hands to help install them. In alignment with the NCTA, Joe strives to make the trail more accessible and enjoyable. Michael Kangas. Under Michael's leadership, through his position at the Forest Service, the Cheyenne River Valley chapter can develop and care for the trail and its amenities in North Dakota's Cheyenne State Forest. Michael's support, through both guidance and funding, allows the chapter to keep the trail maintained. He stays in close contact with volunteers regarding their needs and often sends North Dakota Forest Service employees and equipment for chapter workdays. Michael's dedication, especially at the state level, is invaluable. Joe Morissette. Joe is a state park superintendent in New York State and has provided the Central New York chapter with unwavering support and advocacy. For many years, the chapter has strived to reroute a large roadwalk segment through state lands. Joe pored over maps and hiked proposed routes, providing and purchased materials, had custom signage made, and coordinated the design of a trailhead kiosk. He assigned park personnel to assist with chapter workdays and allowed the chapter to store materials at a state park facility. This reroute was accomplished last October thanks to Joe's dedicated partnership. Scott Shipley. When Scott joined the Chippewa National Forest staff, he immediately began assisting the Star of the North chapter in Minnesota. He helped clear trail and secured camping for chapter work trips and joined construction projects. With his extensive background in fire and trail work, he assures everyone is safe and provides excellent experience stories. He is currently leading the development of a trail reroute that will eliminate a long roadwalk. Scott is a true friend to the trail in central Minnesota. Our next category is the Blue Blazes Benefactor. This is an individual or a household demonstrating vision and generosity through significant monetary or in-kind contributions to the North Country Trail or the North Country Trail Association. The Bigelow family. The Bigelow family are lifelong hikers with a deep appreciation for the trail. Mike and Lorraine raised their children in West Michigan, where they all developed a strong love for the outdoors. They are now retired and wintering in Florida, but their bond with the trail remains strong. A couple of years ago, they made a significant contribution to further the mission of the association. Mike recognized that while using the trail is free, its upkeep requires immense effort, and they admire the NCTA's dedication. The Bigelows have since supported the association annually, demonstrating a lasting commitment and profound understanding of the work involved in building and maintaining a national scenic trail. Next, we have the leadership category. And this is a volunteer who has demonstrated exceptional leadership, resulting in significant local achievement or highly successful events. Glenn and Barb Kazier. Glenn and Barb Kazier. Glenn and Barb have been involved with the Western Michigan chapter for well over a decade. They are trail adopters. Glenn is a certified sawyer and is considered an institution within the maintenance crew. Barb tables numerous events on behalf of the chapter and assisted with the chapter's first time backpacker program this spring. They frequently support day and section hikers with trailhead shuttling, and they host long distance hikers at their home, where they offer both lodging and laundry. They also host annual chapter events on their property, welcoming dozens of people. Glenn stated that hiking is now more than a hobby for them, thanks to the NCTA and its volunteers. Peg Schmidt-Fuller. Peg has been with the Finger Lakes Trail Conference since 2001 and is a dedicated trail maintainer in Chenango County. Through the Bull Thistle Hiking Club, she oversees an active guided hike problem on the North Country Trail and Finger Lakes Trail and other local trails. She also holds multiple leadership roles on the Finger Lakes Trail Conference Board of Managers. She leads many hikes and organizes a very successful fall weekend celebration for the FLTC. Peg cultivates a culture of appreciation. Her collaborative, enthusiastic, and encouraging nature has elevated the work of both staff and volunteers for the New York Trail System. Mary Moberg. For 15 years, Mary has been deeply involved in the development and leadership of the Dakota Prairie chapter in North Dakota and has been active at the national level too. She has attended nearly every NCTA celebration since 2007 and even co-organized the North Dakota celebration in 2016. Her patience and thoughtful nature allows for her to provide valuable perspectives over the years. When she and her husband Tom made the decision to move away from North Dakota, she worked hard to ensure a smooth transition in chapter leadership. And now, from multiple time zones away, she continues to attend monthly meetings and contribute valuable information and thoughts to the chapter. Distinguished Service Award. A volunteer who has dedicated 8 years or more of exceptional service in furthering the goals of the North Country Trail Association and outstanding contributions toward the dream of the North Country Trail. John Backus. Since the start of the Laurentian Lakes chapter, John has served essentially as the role, the sole organizer and administrator of its annual fundraising efforts. He ensures funds are readily available to purchase and maintain equipment and contributes quite generously from his own pocket each year. John also sponsored a 3-phased Eagle Scout project. They cleaned up tornado damage, designed and constructed interpretive signage about the storm and cleanup efforts, and built 3 trailside benches with tabletops. After working tirelessly to help establish the chapter's 66 miles of trail, he became a trail adopter of a 3-mile section that he has maintained on his own ever since. Jeff Fleming. Jeff helped rebuild a covered bridge on the trail in 1998, then joined the NCTA after in 1999. For 20 plus years, he scheduled, directed, and participated in work days with the Chief Noonday chapter. He's improved trail structures and signage. He moves and stages building materials and cleans up after storms. He's a trail adopter and a certified sawyer and seemed to have endless energy for both leading and committing to projects across southern Michigan. Pat Monahan. Pat has a long history with the Finger Lakes Trail Conference. After becoming a member in 2001, he quickly became involved with major construction projects. In the early days of FLTC, Pat was the moving force behind creating the 45-mile-long Crystal Hills branch of the Finger Lakes Trail. He assessed routes, gained permissions, flagged trail, and organized many work days to actually build it all. His talent for patience and persistence has kept this segment open despite floods, windstorms, and landowner relations issues. He was a hike coordinator for the conference's Hike the County program, completed an end-to-end hike of the main Finger Lakes Trail in 2008, and bagged all of the branch trails in 2015. Pat also served as the FLTC president for 15 years, where he significantly strengthened the partnership with the NCTA. And Joe Taylor. Joe has been quietly supporting the NCTA and the Finger Lakes Trail Conference for almost 30 years. She is a jack of all trades when it comes to all things Finger Lakes Trail. She was an editor of the quarterly Finger Lakes Trail news magazine for 10 years. She has hiked all 400 miles of the main trail end to end. She is also a crucial member of the FLTC mapping group dedicated to producing and updating high-quality maps. The entire Finger Lakes Trail system, which includes more than 400 miles of the North Country Trail. As the current vice president of mapping, she leads strategically and collaborates effectively. It is largely due to Joe's efforts that the trail users can navigate and enjoy the North Country Trail in Western New York. With that, we are moving on to our biggest award of the North Country Trail portion of this ceremony, which is our Thomas L. Gilbert Lifetime Achievement Award. And there is no better presenter for that award than Thomas L. Gilbert himself. So Tom, take it away.
Thank you, Andrea. Our final award category is the Lifetime Achievement Award. And this recognizes an individual who has shown 15 years or more of true dedication, exceptional service, and outstanding contributions toward the dream of the North Country Trail or the success and growth of the North Country Trail Association. Our first recipients are Becky and Daryl Heisey. Becky and Daryl have been volunteering for the trail in North Dakota for more than 20 years. Becky has held every officer position with the Cheyenne River Valley chapter since 2004. She participates in work days, researches landowners and prospective routes, and helps develop trail easements. Daryl has been a critical member of the chapter's maintenance committee for more than 15 years and has often donated his own equipment. Thanks to Becky's 3-year leadership of the Recreational Trail Grant Project, the chapter successfully obtained 24 easements, protecting 29 miles of the trail. Additionally, she helped install a number of structures funded by this grant and helped research and design the informational panels. Becky is a fantastic marketing volunteer, having written narrative for the website, brochures, grants, news articles, and annual reports. She tables events, brainstorms ideas for new hikes and events, and serves on the editorial committee of the North Star, NCTA's quarterly magazine. Both Becky and Daryl have received a variety of NCTA volunteer awards over the years for their dedication, and so it is an honor to finally present them both with one of this magnitude.
Hello, my name is Matthew Davis, and I work for the North Country Trail Association as the Regional Trail Coordinator covering the states of North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. It was my honor to nominate Becky and Daryl Heisey for the Thomas L. Gilbert Lifetime Achievement Award, and I am pleased to recognize their selection for our organization's Most Distinguished Award. I have known and worked with Becky and Daryl for the last 19 years, but they both were heavily involved with the NCTA and the Cheyenne River Valley chapter in North Dakota for years before that. The existence of a more worthy volunteer duo to share this honor truly escapes me. Simply put, they have done everything for the Cheyenne River Valley chapter, including building and maintaining trail, coordinating chapter trail building and maintenance efforts, organizing and staffing public outreach events, strengthening local partnerships, securing easements for the trail, serving as chapter president, building metal boardwalk structures, and even using a skid steer to repair a washed out trail section. Congratulations on this award, and thank you, Becky and Daryl, for all that you do for the NCTA.
And I would definitely echo that thank you for all that they have done. Our next recipient is Larry Pyle. For nearly 25 years, Larry has exercised extraordinary generosity of his time, talent, and treasure for the NCTA and the Chief Noonday chapter. There is scarcely a foot of trail in the chapter's territory that Larry has not trod and helped build, repair, maintain, improve, or promote. There is scarcely a work or outreach project that he has not led or taken part in. He is ever on the lookout for things that need to be done, then either handles them himself or organizes and delegates to get them done. Early on, Larry joined the chapter's trail adopter team and tended to 3 miles, largely alone, for approximately 20 years. He's a certified sawyer, program and project leader, and energetic participant. For 19 years, he produced and distributed the chapter newsletter and eventually brought it into the digital age. He won't hesitate to table events or give presentations to promote the trail use and volunteerism. Larry is calm, sensible, and attentive. This effective style and kind demeanor has led him to a number of chapter and national leadership positions, including the NCTA Board of Directors and many years as chair of the awards committee. He and his wife, Suzanne, have generously supported the NCTA for a number of years. His low-key yet rich career with the chapter and association are more than worthy of celebration and recognition through the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Congratulations, Larry, for receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. I was worried a little bit following you as the president of Chief Noonday chapter, but you were so helpful and became a real mentor to me. Remember, you have lots of years left to volunteer at hikes, work days, and outreach events. Thank you, Larry, again for all you have accomplished for the North Country Trail.
Hi, Larry. This is Eric, the current chapter president for Chief Noonday chapter, and congratulations on winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. I have one memory about an event we held, a chapter hike in Marshall, Michigan, and it was wintertime, and we hooked up, you and I, and then we had to try to find the trailhead, and we drove around Marshall, which is a pretty small city, and we looked for that trailhead for probably a good 30 minutes trying to figure out which one where we were meeting people. It was a little embarrassing, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately. We only had 2 people that showed up to do that hike, as I recall. And it was many years ago, and we've gotten much better at our chapter hikes since then. But thanks and congratulations for your honor and your award.
Congratulations.
Our next recipient is John Hyam and Lois Goldstein. John and Lois were dedicated volunteers with the Grand Traverse chapter for many years. They served in committee and board roles at the national level, offered significant financial support to the NCTA, and were beloved friends to many. They said yes a lot, mainly to serving in leadership roles with their chapter. John attended a number of the Hike the Hill events in Washington, D.C., effectively and passionately advocating for the trail. The couple was among the first to embrace the association's growing fundraising efforts by making significant gifts and hosting events at their home. They were instrumental at the start of the NCTA's endowment fund. Hardly a weekend would go by without them leading a hike or local river trip. The number of folks in the Grand Traverse area who benefited from their efforts is incalculable. Yet they did so quietly because they simply believed it was the right thing to do. When John and Lois passed away in a tragic car accident in late 2023, the NCTA was notified of a final gift. As Legacy Society members, they chose to include the association in their wills. This ended up being close to $400,000, which the NCTA added to the endowment fund John helped to start. John and Lois's legacy will live on. We only wish they were here to receive this recognition.
So John and Lois retired and went to live in Traverse City to live their dream, to give something back, to pay it forward, and to be the change in the world that they wanted to see, which may be happy talk to some, but John and Lois, that was the way they lived, and they demonstrated that with all the efforts that they were involved in the North Country Trail, the Outing Club in Traverse City, and many other activities that they were doing, especially noting Lois's involvement with tutoring the high school students there. What a difference they made. They pursued this with a sense of relentless competence and irrepressible joy that just characterize who Lois and John are. We were all blessed by their efforts on our behalf.
So we owe many thanks to John and Lois and all of the other Lifetime Achievement Award recipients and all of the award recipients, because all of you are making a difference in the lives of those who love and enjoy the trail. And now we will turn it back to Andrea.
Thank you, Tom. Congratulations to every single one of you that we have presented NCTA awards to. We are going to kick it over to the Park Service in just a moment, but I want to remind you that, Jan told you about our 2024 Honor Award winners at the start of this presentation, and you still have the opportunity to put in those names after these awards. Honor awards are ones that you choose, that you want to recognize within your chapter or affiliate. So we will put a link in the chat and make sure that your chapter is submitting a name for us so you can get those 2025 honor awards by the end of this year. So with that, we are going to kick it over to the National Park Service. Nick Loazo, our Volunteer Programs Manager, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. Good evening. I'm so glad to be here tonight to give thanks to all the North Country Trail volunteers who give their time, energy, and passion. As Sherry Anderson once said, volunteers don't get paid, not because they're worthless, but because they're priceless. This quote perfectly captures the essence of your invaluable contributions. Your commitment to trail building, maintenance, and enhancement ensures that this beautiful trail remains accessible and enjoyable for all. Tonight, we honor and celebrate your service to preserving this special, one-of-a-kind trail. We will take some time to highlight volunteers who have reached hours milestones and shown exceptional dedication. Since we're meeting virtually, I encourage you all to continue using the chat to show appreciation as we celebrate their incredible achievements. If we read your name, you should receive your recognition item by the beginning of next week. If you don't, just shoot me an email. Let's kick it off with the 100 hours milestone. Volunteers will receive a pin, name tag, and certificate. Steve Anderson, Mark Anstedt, Jack Barnhill, Cheryl Batson, Mark Benoit, Lisa Bertolacio, Christopher Biesman, Rick Bothwell, Mark Brosh, Katie Carrier, Pamela Chipman, Kyle Crawford, Jesse Daly, Chris Davis, Timothy DeYoung, Emily Fenster, Jason Gilbert, Rhiannon Harmon, Carol Holland, Evelyn Howell, Matt Holtman, Dave Irvine, Joyce Irvine, Richard Jenkins, Zach Johns, Beth Cadluboy, Alexandra Corbell, Mark Larson, Ken Liedl, Dale Linton, Katie Logan, Jeffrey Meister, Jeff Miller, James Patterson, Mike Pilek, Ozzie Reef, Kirk Rodesil, Todd Rowe, Chris Sherman, Donna Siska, Paul Smith, Cindy Smith, Chris Sutton, Lisa Shella, Eric Thompson, Nancy Wadopian, Dave Welch, Dale Webb, Robert Wiesenberger, Linda White, Robert Wing, Diane Wright, Doug Young, Tom Havitz. Next, Trail Manager Ken Hendrickson will present the 200 hours milestone.
Our 200 milestone achievers will receive a Nalgene bottle with the North Country Trail emblem on it. Eric Barron, Jay Benda, Paul Bush, Karen Campbell, Cynthia Clemens, George Dom, Dan Driesinga, Sally Dykus, Amy Elvey, Karen Frederick, Ginny Garness, Sylvia Grisey, Stephanie Hoff, David Jansen, Marty Klein, Colleen Matula, John McDonald, James Olmsted, Tom Piccola, Holly Rose, Melissa Santini, Julie Smith, Trudy Snodgrass, Josh Stangl, Jeffrey Steele, Sarah Steele, Jim Stewart, Christopher Witzel, Zach Wilk, Mary Carol Wozniak. And I am going to turn it over to Steph Liguori for our 400-mile milestone.
Congratulations to those who reach 400 hours milestone. They will receive an embroidered long sleeve shirt. Joseph Baker, Rick Barta, Timothy Bauer, Kneff, Ken Garness, Joshua Gary, Jan Genoway, Stephanie Hogan, Jonathan Hewlett, Kenneth Knight, John Larch, Annie Martz, Jack Norland, Jim Schindners, Dominic Sosnowski, Bill Stone, Pamela Tavernier, Bruce Euland, Bill Vite Nami, Darlene Warren, Nelson Whitling. And I'm going to turn it back over to Nick to announce the 100 hours milestone.
Right. A fleece will be presented to those who contributed 1,000 hours. Daniel Geiger, Richard Glasgow, Nicole Helgrimson, Barbara Isom, Byron Knapp, Thomas Norton, Joanna Swanson, Lynn Sienkiewicz, and Sean Wishar. Those who donated 2,500 hours will receive an embroidered jacket. Robert Curtis, Tim Hass, Glee Mayer, Tom Walker. The President's Volunteer Service Award is presented to those who contribute 4,000 hours of service. Volunteers will receive a pin, certificate, and letter from the President. William Curtis, Dwayne Watton, Eric Longman. Congratulations to everyone. Now I'll pass it back to Ken, who will acknowledge a special group of volunteers.
So I hope that everyone on the awards webinar tonight is aware of the Junior Ranger release that just came out in June. And I just put the link there in the chat if you're interested. Since we formally launched in June, we've issued 170 badges bestowed in 29 different states And I'm not going to read all 29, but Wyoming, California, Virginia, Texas, and Alaska are included in there. The trail even has a junior ranger in the United Kingdom who came and earned that badge while they were on vacation. So from a family in Massachusetts that stopped by our National Park Service office to be sworn in for their 299th Junior Ranger badge, to a classroom in Ohio, to a family of 7 in Texas, and coming soon to the Engelhard Library in Lowell, where there's going to be a presentation. The Junior Ranger program has been a big success in just a short amount of time. I said 170 badges in just since June 9th. And if you're counting, that's about 3 Junior Ranger badges a day since this program went live. And all this success is due to the efforts of some volunteers on our Junior Ranger work group. Over several months, they made time to attend our evening meetings, put up with our National Park Service gobbledygook and procedures and all the things we had to do. They provided the ideas for the Junior Ranger activities and exercises. They reviewed the graphic design that we had put together, and they helped refine and finalize the layout. So I want to thank Evelyn Howell, Lorena Jinkerson, Diane O'Connor, Karen Stenberg, and Tina Toole for all their efforts and the passion that into this. Thank you for all your efforts. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn this back over to Steph for the Natural and Cultural Resource Steward Award.
This year, the National Park Service for the North Country National Scenic Trail has a new recognition for a volunteer in parks or a volunteer in parks group who exemplifies exceptional dedication and efforts associated with the protection, impact avoidance, or public education regarding the natural and cultural resources that contribute to the scenic beauty, biodiversity, and cultural fabric of the North Country National Scenic Trail and its surrounding environment. This recognition will be presented annually for volunteer efforts that occurred in the previous trail season to allow for a full trail year review. So this recognition is for efforts in the 2024 trail season. And I am thrilled to present the inaugural Natural and Cultural Resources Steward Award to Colleen Matula. In 2024, the Heritage Chapter proposed a new NCT trailhead and spur trail for improved access to a campsite near the Potato River in Iron County, Wisconsin. But before the on-the-ground construction could begin, I did review the natural and cultural resources in the area. My communications with the Wisconsin DNR revealed that a state-listed threatened plant called the bronze holly fern was known to exist nearby. The DNR recommended conducting a survey for the fern as one potential avenue to confirm that the vegetation that was cut and removed during the construction would avoid impacts to this rare fern. Colleen, of her own volition, volunteered to complete this survey. Colleen has extensive experience in forest and plant ecology, having worked as a plant ecologist and forestry technician for the Ottawa National Forest for 10 years, then as a forest ecologist for the Wisconsin DNR for 22 years. In her career, she conducted botanical surveys and identified many plants and plant habitats, including for the bronze holly fern. During this survey, Colleen identified many plants and flowers that contribute to the beauty and biodiversity of the NCT, but she was able to confirm that the protected fern was not within the project area. She wrote up a survey report with photos that the National Park Service was able to provide to the DNR. The DNR then gave their concurrence that the bronze holly fern would not be impacted by the new trailhead and spur trail. For these volunteer efforts and her commendable stewardship to confirm the protection of a rare natural resource, the National Park Service presents the 2025 Natural and Cultural Resources Steward Award to Colleen. We will be sending you a certificate and an NCT Resource Steward hat. Congratulations, Colleen, and thank you very much. I'm pleased to introduce Superintendent Chris Loudenslager, who will present the last award of the evening.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. It's a thrill to share these awards with all of you. So each year, the National Park Service recognizes volunteers who demonstrate exceptional dedication to their park and community. These recipients embody the values of service, engagement, and stewardship fundamental to our national parks. I'm thrilled to announce that Dan DeWicki has been awarded the Regional Excellence in Volunteerism Impact Award due to his meaningful contributions to the North Country National Scenic Trail. Since 1996, Dan has been an invaluable asset to the National Park Service, dedicating over 20 years as a trail maintainer for the Appalachian National Scenic Trail before joining the North Country National Scenic Trail community in 2019. As a member of the Jordan Valley 45 chapter with the North Country Trail Association, Dan's volunteer efforts encompass leading projects, trail construction and maintenance, relationship building, and enhancing public interest, truly making him a powerhouse. As a chapter trail adopter coordinator, Dan oversees adopters maintaining 15 sections of trail across 80 miles. He also ensures his own 5-mile section is well kept and enjoyable for hikers. As a trained and very accomplished chainsaw and crosscut sawyer, Dan also leads sawing operations in the Jordan Valley and teaches proper techniques to others. In 2022, Dan exemplified his dedication to the trail and assisting others by traveling 625 miles to the Superior National Forest in Minnesota, where he helped clear tornado-damaged trees alongside volunteers and U.S. Forest Service staff. His leadership and extensive experience enabled the team to clear over 500 downed trees along almost a mile of trail in wilderness, while simultaneously training 4 new crosscut sawyers. Dan consistently meets and exceeds trail needs. He assisted in building and installing sign frames for 6 new interpretive panels and led a project to acquire a large toolbox for volunteers in his area, ensuring easy access to tools without long drives. Last September, Dan spearheaded the construction of 30 log steps, 3 grade dips, and 3 sections of puncheon on a sloped, compacted, and wet section of trail. This included ensuring environmental compliance was complete, the appropriate permits were obtained, and developing an innovative way to deliver materials to the work site to reduce time and effort. The improvements created safer, drier trail conditions for hikers and reduced erosion, contributing to long-term trail sustainability and resource protection. We are extremely thankful for Dan's love and dedication for the North Country Trail and for generously sharing his passion, time, and energy. Congratulations, Dan, and thank you for your incredible service. And also, my sincere thanks and gratitude to all our incredible volunteers, our fantastic partners, and our generous landowners. Your contributions, successes, and support are recognized and valued and greatly appreciated. None of this could be possible without you. Thank you so very much for everything you do. Andrea, I think you're back.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you to all of you. These were some truly inspiring and impressive award winners that we had this year. And it's all thanks to those volunteers, but also those of you that submit those nominations. So please remember that moving forward, you can, nominate somebody from your chapter for that honor award, which we'll have. It's one per chapter and a few per affiliate. I think each 100 miles of trail that you have, you can put in a name, and those are your choices for award winners this year. When we do have our 2026 award nomination round, keep an eye out for that. And it is sometimes those people that are working the hardest, and sometimes those people in leadership who need to be nominated. So please put in nominations. And to make sure you are eligible for all of the great things that the National Park Service presented tonight, report your hours. We have a great form on our website, and I know that's the last thing people want to do after volunteering for a long day, but that is truly how we can acknowledge you for all of the work that you put in on the North Country Trail. So thank you to all of you. You are truly impressive, and you make this trail a reality. It would not be here without you. So thank you. Again, it has been recorded, so it will be shared out after. And I hope when you go home, you are able to, when you see all of these folks out on the trail, give them a pat on the back for us and thank them for making the North Country Trail a reality. Take care, you guys. Have a great evening.